Welcome back. Today, I have an interesting product that I picked up as I was preparing for winter camping. As I'm preparing for winter camping, I'm doing a lot of online shopping, and because of that, well, I'm getting a lot of ads. This one, well, this one popped up, and I at first thought this was going to be a pretty funny video of me trashing it. This is the Gordon 12-piece emergency survival kit from Harbor Freight. Okay, that's what I thought too. 25 bucks, 12 piece. I thought I was going to be trashing this thing pretty hard. But today I'm going to talk about the things I really like about it, the things that are okay, and one issue that I don't. So let's get this right out of the way and say, if you do not have a survival kit in your vehicle, buy this right now. 25 bucks, it's a no-brainer. Now, let's get into what's in here. It's in this case, this plastic case that it's okay. It's just fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It is a little flimsy, but again, we're talking 25 bucks, right? I'm not expecting a Pelican case. So it has latches on all sides, which is nice. It also has some loops here, which you could probably put maybe a small carabiner. You'd have to work on it. But opening it up, and there's a reason I haven't opened it till now, is you can see everything's pretty tightly packed in there. So you can see everything is really packed in there, but it's okay. So I'm gonna skip right ahead and say that is one of my problems with it. Is I had to wrestle to get this thing closed last night after playing with it. Okay, there's a lot of stuff in here. They pack a lot. So let's get into what's in there. You have a survival bracelet, obviously paracord. It's got a compass on it. It's got a cutting tool in it, which I find interesting for something I'm putting on my wrist. That being said, I can see why you would want that. I'm joined out here by a buddy of mine who pointed out something very interesting as I finished recording. Not only does this survival bracelet have a compass and paracord, again, very, very useful in their survival situation. What's even more useful, look at this. I'm going to take this in. Here, move my fat hand. I'm going to bring this in and look. There's a flint, and that's a striker. You have a fire starter on your survival bracelet. That is a cool feature. Very well thought out. Or if they didn't think it out or didn't make it wherever they sourced it from, that is a great addition. So yeah, this definitely is a must buy. It has flint and steel. I'm going to, after I finish filming this, if my hands aren't just shaking as hard as they are now because it's so freaking cold, I'm going to try to make a fire with this thing and see if it works. But it feels substantial. This is one of the questionable things in there. This is a belt loop for a water bottle. I can see what they were trying to do here. I'm still kind of wondering about that. Got a flashlight. Going to talk about this in a minute. This I actually am impressed with. We have what they say is a kit for, this is kind of like a razor wire type material and 2 rings, so that this is supposed to be used to cut wood. This surprised me. When they said they had a fishing kit on the site, it looked like some fishing line and a hook. This actually surprised me. It is fishing line on a roll, which is nice, and it's got a hook and it's got a grub. That surprised me. Your obligatory survival blanket. You got this multi-spork. Again, going to look at this in a second. Then you got this thing, which is for blowing on your fire to get it going. I don't know the technical term for it, but that I found an interesting addition. You got this pocket knife, which we're going to get into this again in a second. We have a pen and a glass breaker. Nice little addition. And then we have this card multi-tool. You've seen these before, I'm sure. If not, I gotta try to get it out of there with my freezing hands. It's a multi-tool in a card format. Again, nice little addition on this one. I kind of like this. This is kind of neat. Plus, it's got a church key. So, in a survival situation where you need a beer, you're good to go. All right, let's get into this stuff. So let's start talking about this stuff. First, I'm going to talk about this flashlight, which actually kind of impressed me, and I got some nice lights. This one is interesting in that it is an LED. It has a double A. Again, very good. That was a good thought. Not a AAA, not a 123A. It's just a standard old AA battery that it actually comes with for $25. Good on you, Harbor Freight. And then it has a momentary switch. So if I do this right, and if I don't, you can see it goes from it'll go from a low to a high to a SOS. A high, low, SOS. That's actually a nice little feature. I'm going to try to get some shots of this at night. It is 15 degrees here today. I don't know if I'm going to go out tonight when it's that cold. Okay, just full disclosure. That is a nice light, especially at the price. I'm somewhat impressed at that. The pen, again, it's just your basic ballpoint pen, but it does have the glass breaker. This would be useful in a situation where, again, you have this in your vehicle becomes disabled, or traffic you're in a situation where you're trying to flee like wildfires, and traffic has become congested because people are abandoning their cars up the road. You're getting out of your vehicle, running up the road, and finally you get to a spot where you're clear and there's some disabled vehicles and you need to get clear. Okay, glass breaker might come in handy. Or you're in your vehicle, it becomes disabled, rolled over, and you're trapped. This could save your bacon. Again, this thing is a blowing tube, so you just expand it out, put it down to your fire. Everything goes right. We're going to try to make a fire using this and the flint and steel, but that's actually kind of a neat little addition, especially at the money. The spork. This is interesting. It's not just a spork, but it pulls out to be a bottle opener. It's got a knife on it, a blade on it. Then it's also got a serrated edge. This is interesting. This is probably the thing that surprised me most about the kit, was that they had this in here, but it makes a lot of sense and it's got a lot of uses. Now the knife. This knife is somewhat surprising for the price. It's got a glass breaker on it. It's got a belt clip, which you can still see has the plastic on, and it is freaking cold. There it goes. It came off. We're not gonna just your regular folding knife, but it's got a decent sized blade, and it also has a decent action. Listen, I carry a variety of Benchmades every day, so I'm spoiled, but the action feels fine enough for me. I thought about oiling it, but don't do that. Don't oil it and then put it in here, because that oil is going to get all over everything else. It just feels fine. Just work it a little bit. It's going to free up, but that's actually an impressive knife for cutting. It's got your hand grip, so if you need to fillet or maybe work some wood with it, you're good to go. It also has a utility, I don't know what you call it. This would be like a line cutter almost. You could slip something in here and then there's a little blade in there. That is a nice little addition, and it isn't very hard to close. So good on you, Harbor Freight. I'm surprised. And then finally, again, back to the flint and steel. Now here's my thing with this. The one big thing that's wrong with it is it's heavy. It weighs probably, if you pick up 2 or 3 cans of chunky soup, that's about what this weighs. So it's not light. So it's not something I'm going to throw in my hiking pack that's going to live in there. It's too heavy for that. With all the other stuff that I have, it wouldn't work. It is, however, something that's going to stay in my truck, even though I have separate emergency kits that I use. I used to commute a lot. As part of that, in my truck, I have a little Cabela's bag with a handle, and it's got either, right now, it's kind of in transition because I don't commute anymore. But it has, a fire starter. It's got some sort of hat and gloves, etc., etc. That Cabela's bag is a cheap Cabela's bag, and it's $17. This is $25 for a whole kit. The reason I'm going to leave this in my truck is because there was a situation one time where I decided at the last minute that me and my dog, we should go on a little road trip. I had a couple days off work. I decided we're going to go drive through South Dakota, or western Nebraska, South Dakota, Colorado, and Wyoming. Actually, I didn't really know where we were going. I just decided on the, we jumped in the truck and we started going. That was during COVID, and that's when I wasn't commuting, and it was also in the early spring. So I had pulled out my winter emergency kit out of the truck, and it was in the transition period where I was like, I need to get this transition to the summer kit, right? Well, it occurred to me as I was driving through Wyoming, and it had been about 45 minutes since I had seen any sign of life, because we were in the middle of nowhere, that I didn't have my emergency kit, that I didn't have cell service, that I had what's in the truck with me and my dog, and that's it. I'm usually very good about keeping that kit because of the story I told in another video where we were stranded in a blizzard. I don't ever want to be in a situation like that again. But that was a time where I almost could have been. So that being said, for 25 bucks, it's a no-brainer. However, if you don't know how to use half this stuff, if you don't know how to use an emergency blanket even, if you don't know how to use a fishing kit, I'm torn. It could include, I will probably throw some extra stuff in here just because it's going to literally live in my truck. There's a compartment under the seat that I'm going to throw it in, and it's going to stay there forever. I'd throw some water purification tablets in there. That's going to be a must-have. You're going to, as I've said before, you're going to be fine with no food for a while, but you're absolutely going to die quick if you don't have water. I'll probably take, I'm mixed on this. I'll probably replace this with like a carabiner, or I'll just take that bottle strap off. Or I'm going to test this out on water bottles and see what size. I don't know. This one I'm kind of torn on. If you just keep an empty Aquafina bottle in your vehicle next to where this is, and you grab this and you grab that bottle and you have purification tablets, you're good to go for a while. I don't know. I was going to sit here and trash this stuff I was looking forward to a funny video, but this one actually is serious, and this is actually a worthwhile kit that 25 bucks. I mean, you can't find a survival kit for that. You can definitely build one yourself for that or a little bit more. If you are hiking a lot, you already know, and you probably already have a better kit. If you don't, you're probably going to want something with a little bit less weight to carry around. This could also, I thought about on the way, this could also be an excellent thing to throw in a bag if you're a hunter. If you go out hunting, especially in the fall and wintertime and early spring seasons here in the Midwest, you're already going to be taking a lot of ammo. You're going to have some weight on you. But this I could see throwing in a bag and having with you on your person would definitely be beneficial. Then again, if you're hunting, you probably already have that. So anyway, that is all I got for this time. If you might see a video on me making a fire, if A, I can make a fire with this, and B, if it doesn't fall apart the first time I try to use it. We'll see. Who knows? All right, as we're preparing to make fire here, one interesting thing about this kit that just clicked to me is when you open it up and you realize that the fire starter, look what your striker is in. That's cardboard. I know they did it to probably protect other stuff, but that's a really nice addition if you need some material to get a fire going. And as you can tell from my hands, it's freaking cold. We're going to try to make a fire. Thanks again for stopping by. Appreciate you being here. Please take a minute to like, share, subscribe. It's all free. It helps me out a lot. Helps me bring this stuff to you, and I enjoy doing it. See you in the next one. Woohoo! We're warming up. That's it. So yes, you can make fire with that $25 kit from Harbor Freight.